Yes, sir. Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Down One, and I am back with another video. I was trying to do this morning, but I got sort of busy. Before we begin today's video live stream, I first like to let you guys know that I have a new channel called Messy Media U. It's a comedy channel, and I want you guys to go check that channel out. Subscribe and enjoy. You will not be disappointed. I got content galore on this channel. Very funny, entertaining, energetic channel. So go check it out. Now, with further ado, let's get into today's topic. I was going to cover this. Last week. Got sort of sidetracked with a lot of other things I was talking about on my other channels, as well as life. And basically, it's about the Cleveland Browns. There's a reason why the Cleveland Browns are always cellar dwellers every single year. They can't buy a break. Something along the way always screws them up. Now, apparently, they had a deal in place where they were going to get AJ McCarron, quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. This was going to be one of those types of deals. If it would have went through, people would have been talking about it for the past couple of weeks about this move. Now, AJ McCarron, to me, in a nutshell, he's not the long-term future of the Cleveland Browns. But however, I feel like you can get some short-term success from him. Nothing personal. I just don't see him as a franchise quarterback. But anywho, the Cleveland Browns, the organization, decided to celebrate. They were getting their Dougie on, their Funky Chicken on, their Robot on, the Millie Wop. They were dancing galore. I mean, they had a party in the war room. And while everybody was getting their dance on, getting their celebration on, I felt like it was one of those Hollywood reports about Rick James when Dave Chappelle used to do them. It's a celebration! Everybody was getting their groove on. Come to find out, no one in the party called the NFL to accept the deal. All right? Wires got crossed, if you want to call it that. To me, I like to consider it as celebrating too soon. And that's pretty much what happened with the Cleveland Browns. They celebrated too soon, and then the deal got voided at the 4 o'clock hour. They had to call the NFL to accept the deal, even though they had a handshake agreement with the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals did their part. They called the NFL, but unfortunately, the Cleveland Browns couldn't do their part. Now, I'm here to tell you guys, if you think that's the last you're going to hear about this, you are terribly mistaken. People are going to probably lose their jobs at the end of the season. The Cleveland Browns have been a dumpster fire, a hot mess for the past, for this season alone. All right, they just can't simply catch a break. I feel like heads are going to roll in the organization. I think they're going to have a new mentality of next year, and they're probably going to have their coach on the hot seat, or possibly fired at the end of the season. Now, Hugh Jackson, and we experienced some bad connection. I apologize for that. Hugh Jackson, when he got the job, when he accepted the job, there was really no one knocking on Hugh Jackson's door. All right, he got let go of by the by the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders at the time. And when he left there, no one was willing to hire Hugh Jackson as a head coach. Okay, and he pretty much was handed, this is pretty much the only job at his disposal. So I feel like when you're looking at Hugh Jackson's point of view, he's probably going to either be fired by the end of this season, or he's going to be on the hot seat, and he's probably going to be let go of next year. As far as the personnel in the organization, remember, folks, they hired these guys 2 years ago, and some of these, some of the staff, some of the personnel that they have ties in baseball. Now, these individuals felt like how they did things in baseball, they was going to do the same in the NFL. You know, instead of just settling on a high draft pick, they decided to trade those that pick away to get more picks. Therefore, you're building the team a lot quicker. All right. Now, if they would have kept that pick, they would have been in line for Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is blowing it up for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm pretty sure the Cleveland Browns, if they had to do that over again, they probably would have kept the pick. All right. So Carson Wentz has proven that he is going to be one of those elite quarterbacks. Now, time will tell, will he be a franchise quarterback? But it seems like he's pointing in the right direction. They also had the opportunity to get Deshaun Watson, all right? And they didn't get him. Now, the Cleveland Browns had Robert Griffin III, which that didn't turn out very well. They also traded for I forgot the quarterback's name, who used to be the quarterback for the Texans, and then he signed that deal with the he was with the Denver Broncos, signed to the Houston Texans to the large extension for Osweiler. There we go. Can you remember Chris Osweiler? He was with the Denver Broncos. John Elway and them were, trying to learn him the ropes. And when he had the opportunity to sign somewhere else, he did. He went to the Texans, because the Texans paid a little bit more money than the Denver Broncos. But keep in mind, the Denver Broncos were going to pay him sooner. Pay him a little later, and they was trying to utilize this money to continue to make the team better because they needed more parts. Osweiler wasn't hearing that. He went to the Texans. It didn't turn out very well for the Texans. He stayed with the Texans. It was only for 1 year, less than a year when you think about it. And he got traded to the Cleveland Browns, only to then the Cleveland Browns let him go, and now he signed a 1-year deal with no incentives, and it's not a great deal pay-wise to go back with his tail stuck between his legs to the Denver Broncos. You should have never left the Denver Broncos, but that's another time for another story. That's how bad the Cleveland Browns have been stinking up the joint for just this year. Now, they're en route to yet again get another top level draft pick, a top 5 pick. Okay, if everything plays out, a lot of people felt like the Jets were in line to getting that pick because they pretty much let go of everybody, and the Jets were going to rebuild this franchise. But slowly but surely, the Jets have a better record with lesser talent than the Cleveland Browns. So go figure that. All right. So back to the Cleveland Browns. I feel like at the end of the season, somebody is going to pay for that decision. It's probably going to be someone in the front office. And when they do that, and when they get a new, probably it's going to be a new GM. And if they get a new GM, chances are, when you talk about Hugh Jackson, he's probably going to be fired as well. The best thing the Cleveland Browns should do is just fire him at the end of the season. Okay, you're not going anywhere with Hugh Jackson this year. Why keep him in the offseason knowing in the back of your mind that you're going to get rid of him anyway, particularly if you get rid of people in the front office? Now, the Cleveland Browns, they sort of been going through general managers, personnel in office, personnel in the organization in the office, as well as coaching staffs, coaches. They've been going through a lot of personnel for the past 4 years. All right, so they're gonna never get better if they don't keep anyone longer than 3 years. Okay, and the Cleveland Browns, unfortunately, is going to have to do this again with this personnel, the personnel that they have already. I don't think Hugh Jackson is a good fit for the Cleveland Browns. Me personally, they should have never signed him, but I felt like that was really the only team that had any type of interest for Hugh Jackson. Okay, and when you're talking about the personnel, the personnel even though they have baseball ties, they're not trying to rebuild this team the right way. In the NFL, draft picks are crucial. Draft picks are very important, particularly the first round. If you got a first round draft pick, the rule of thumb is to just pick the best player, not trade that piece away for something else. All right. And I think the Cleveland Browns stumbled a bit. They had the opportunity to get Carson Wentz. They had the opportunity to get the quarterback from the Texans, Deshaun Watson. They had an opportunity to get him. This is like the second year in a row where they struck out in the draft and they could have gotten a quarterback. Now they're trading for AJ McCarron. AJ McCarron, to me, is not a franchise guy. He's not your long-term goal. He's not your long-term player. He's a short-term player that can win you a few games, continue to have fans purchase tickets. All right, but when you're talking about the team as a whole, they're still going to have to be pretty much looking for another quarterback. Now, Hugh Jackson's supposed to have been this quarterback whisperer, okay? And when he got the job, I gotta check out that invitation. When he got the job, his claim to fame was to make quarterbacks better. And when they got Robert Griffin III, it never transpired into that. All right. When they got Osweiler, it never transpired into that. And when they, I forgot the last two rookie quarterbacks that they got, they're not getting better as well. That's why they was desperately trying to get this AJ McCarron deal to fall through. And it didn't fall through because the Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns. Sometimes they get in the way of themselves, okay? Like Stephen A. Smith says about the Dallas Cowboys, they're an accident waiting to happen. Well, the Cleveland Browns are the accident. They are the spill, and they seem, in somehow, some way, they seem to always get in their way, and they're always a mess, all right? And I told you guys probably what's going to transpire by the end of this NFL season. Heads are going to roll. Personnel are going to be having pink slips. And the best thing for the Cleveland Browns to do is simply just go ahead, fire Hugh Jackson, and hurry up and find you a general manager with football knowledge, all right? And possibly steal some personnel from the New England Patriots, all right? And just start from there and hope and pray that the people that you hire for these positions make the right decisions and make the right moves, all right? But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please the notification squad in the building. Hit that notification bell, that notification icon, so you'll know when my next video or live stream is going down. It's your boy. I'm Chris, and now I'm one, and I am out. Have a great Sunday.